Hello viewers, welcome to Tradabulls. So finally Nifty closed below 24,400 mark and Bank Nifty 52,000 level below and IT 42,000 mark below. So since last 4 days IT was maintained above 42,000 mark, but today it's closed below 42,000 mark. So all major indices closed in indecisive mode. And Nifty was created about 190 points range and 0.5% down compared to yesterday's close. So points wise 126 points down. And it was broken yesterday's high, that is 24,484, and today's high was 24,498, close to 24,500 mark. And it didn't broke yesterday's low, but it was broken yesterday's high. Coming to chart, so Nifty short-term trend still it is in downside. So even in our yesterday's analysis, we clearly mentioned that if there are any chances of 50% move or mean reversion, so one day candle should close above 24,540 mark. So 24,540 is indicating short-term trend. So short-term trend still it is indicating downside. And yesterday's close is one of the best close when we compare with last 4-5 days data. But today there was huge resistance at 24,500 and good support at 24,300. So total 200 points range was created and still it is in the zone of 24,050 to 24,500. And technically 24,550 and 24,050 should be the most watchable numbers. Either side breakout, so either 24,550 mark or 24,050 mark is important. So here short-term trend is down for Nifty and mid-term trend also down for Nifty, and long-term trend still it is in upside. So long-term trend still it is in positive side. So clearly 24,054 was a great support for Nifty. So tomorrow is weekly candle closing, monthly candle closing, weekly candle closing, as well as October month contracts also closing. Definitely there will be a huge volatility tomorrow. Usually either weekly candle close or monthly candle close or monthly contract close, there should be a huge volatility, but tomorrow 3 are going to match. So weekly candle closing, monthly candle closing, and also most important, October month contracts are going to closing for Nifty. So tomorrow's most watchable number 24,054. So if it closes above that level, at least it holds that long-term trend towards positive side. So anyhow, mid-term and short-term trends were down. So either side breakout, we need to watch either 24,050 for downside and 24,550 for upside. Coming to Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty still long-term trend is up, mid-term trend still it is in downside. So since this is 5th week, so 5 weeks last month of September and all the weeks of October, mid-term trend was in downside for Bank Nifty, and short-term trend, it was up yesterday's session and still it is maintaining the short-term trend as positive side. Only thing, it was closed above 52,000 mark yesterday and today it was closed below 52,000 mark. And yesterday's high or low didn't broke by Bank Nifty, only Nifty was broken yesterday's high. And IT, so still long-term trend is positive side, and mid-term trend is positive side and short-term trend is negative side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sessions. So short-term trend for IT was in downside. So overall trend analysis. So trends, short-term, mid-term and long-term for Nifty, Bank Nifty and IT. So short-term is down for Nifty. Mid-term trend is also down for Nifty, long-term trend is upside. And Bank Nifty short-term trend is up, mid-term trend is down, long-term trend is upside. For IT, short-term trend is downside, mid-term trend and long-term trend both are in upside. So here Bank Nifty and IT are clearly in indecision state. So short-term trend up for Bank Nifty and mid-term trend down for Bank Nifty. And IT short-term trend is down for down and up, mid-term trend is up. Only thing Nifty is clearly indicating both short-term as well as mid-term trends are in negative. So we need to watch the levels. The 500 points range is most important. So downside 24,050 and upside 24,550. So coming to major final call from the Tradabulls application, Nifty was indicated bearish plus and Bank Nifty was in neutral. IT was in bearish plus, Fin Nifty was in neutral, Midcap was in bearish plus and Reliance was in neutral. So all major indices and Reliance also, still it's not at any closed in indecision state. Only IT was in bearish plus. So coming to Nifty chart, candlestick view. So it's almost all closed, touched above yesterday's high, that is 24,484. So today's high was 24,498. And today's low was exactly 50% of yesterday's range. 24,312 was 50% of yesterday's range. And today's low was 24,307. And yesterday, weekly candle was closed above 90 degrees angle, but today it's faced huge resistance at 135 degrees angle for weekly Nifty, and even there is one huge resistance at 24,883 at monthly candles also. And Nifty yesterday closed above minus 23.6% range of last month's range, but today again it's closed below minus 23.6% of last month's range. And as per OI change, so this is OI analysis, so completely based on the open interest change. So all these supports and resistance are creating. So there is huge resistance at 24,500. So huge number of open interest change at 24,500 and huge number of open interest change at 24,300. So today's high and low was closed in between 24,500 and 24,300. Exactly our application was clearly indicated the good support and good resistance points also. And there is one more number system as box theory. So clearly Nifty was closed below, Nifty was closed 24,340 level. So 24,336 is indicating one good support. Even when market opens in the morning, market took support at somewhere 24,336. And even today's close also 24,340 level. So if it closes below 24,336, next 24,025 would be the next probable number as per box theory. And if it closes above 24,336 as per today's close, the next probable number is indicating 24,650 level. Even for Bank Nifty, 51,800 mark. So 51,800 just closed below 51,984. So the next probable numbers would be 51,529 and 51,076. So as per major data points, so today's close was 24,340 level, so which is just below minus 23.6% of last month's range. The next probable numbers for Nifty would be 24,171 and 23,991. So 24,171 is minus 38.2% of last month's range, and 23,991 is indicating minus 50% of last month's range. And coming to Bank Nifty, so Bank Nifty today's close was below 52,000 mark and 51,800. So 51,800 is just below 38.2% of last month's range. So the next probable numbers for Bank Nifty would be 51,336 and 50,369. So which are 38.2%, 23.6% and 0% of last month's range. Whereas IT, so IT also closed below 42,000 mark after 3-4 sessions. So today's close was 41,668, just above last month's low. Last month's low was 41,614 and today's close was 41,668. So tomorrow if it breaks that 0%, that is last month's low, The next probable numbers would be 41,135 and 40,838. If it holds last month's low, that is 41,614, the higher side probable numbers would be 42,100 and 42,400 levels. So coming to major indices sentiment wise, so intraday Nifty was closed 30 out of 50 negative side and 20 out of 50 were positive side. So none of the heavy weights were closed about the positive side. So BL, ITC, LNT, Maruti are the positive side contributors. All are less weight counters only. But downside majorly Infosys, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank and Kotak Bank. All these 5 to 6 counters. So they were into downside contributors. So Infosys major downside contributor, 28 points out of 183 points negative side. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank also each contributed around 28 points. So these three together almost all, so 28, 28, 28, almost all nearly close to 54 or 60 points contributed out of 183 points. So coming to last 3 days data, so tomorrow would be the weekly candle close, monthly candle close and monthly contract also expiry for Nifty. So still ICICI Bank, BEL, SBI, Reliance, L&T are positive side contributors and Infosys, Bharti Airtel, HDFC Bank, Tata Motors are negative side contributors. So even monthly's data also clearly indicating 42 out of 50 are negative and 8 out of 50 are in positive. So majorly Reliance was downside contributor with 190 points, HUL 75 points, M&M 72 points, L&T 66 points. But positive side ICICI Bank was almost all plus 60 points and SBI was about 28 points. Coming to Bank Nifty, so today's 9 out of 12 were intraday negative side contributors and 3 out of 12 were positive contributors. So all major heavy weights were closed on downside only. And as per weekly data, so our banks are looking good. ICICI Bank, SBI, Federal Bank, Bank of Baroda are major contributors towards positive side, whereas Kotak and Axis, HDFC Bank, 3 were downside contributors for this week. And this entire month, so downside major contributor for Bank Nifty was IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank, Axis Bank. So there are about 1700 points negative side contribution. In that 750 points contributed by only IndusInd Bank and Kotak Bank, Axis Bank around 250 to 350 points negative side contributors. So positive side only HDFC Bank this month alone it was contributed nearly 400 points. After that SBI was around 250 points positive side contributions. So coming to IT, so 8 out of 10 were closed on negative side today. So majorly Infosys with more than 230 points downside. After that HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra. So positive side very nominal TCS and Wipro. As per weekly data, 7 out of 10 were closed on negative side and 3 out of 10 were closed on positive side. So Infosys majorly contributor, downside contributor with 370 points. After that Tech Mahindra, next LTI Mindtree. Positive side only Wipro and TCS. As per monthly data, Infosys, TCS major downside contributors for this October month. So each contributed about 450 points. So heavily contributed by the major leaders from the IT background. So Infosys and TCS, LTI Mindtree major downside contributors and Tech Mahindra, Coforge are the positive side contributors. So index top 10s, so Nifty closed 4 out of 10 were closed on negative side. Even for weekly also 4 out of 10 negative and 4 out of 10 positive. Majorly with HDFC Bank downside and Infosys was downside and Bharti Airtel, Axis Bank also downside. So coming to Bank Nifty, so all top 10 heavyweights, 6 out of 10 were closed on negative for intraday and 5 out of 10 were closed on negative for weekly data. So majorly HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, Axis Bank are the downside contributors and IT. So IT 7 out of 10 were closed on intraday and 6 out of 10 were closed on downside for weekly data. Majorly Infosys, HCL Tech and Tech Mahindra are downside contributors. Whereas heat maps, So today's best performers, Adani Enterprise up by 4.24%, next Tata Consumers more than 3%, and downside Cipla 4% and Shriram Finance around 2.5%. As per weekly data, so this week the best performer was Adani Enterprise with 10% up, next Eicher Motors 6% and BEL 6%, Adani Ports around 6% and SB around 5.5% up. Whereas downside, Cipla was down by around 4.75% and Dr. Reddy's was down by around 4%. As per weekly's data, only 5 counters closed below last month's low, not 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 counters closed below last month's low, and about 5 counters were closed above last month's low. So closing below or closing above of last week's candle, only just 5 are indicating closed above last month's high, and about 8 to 9 counters are still closed below last month's low. So that's all about today's analysis. So majorly as per Nifty, there are 2 important numbers, 2 most watchable numbers to the big breakout purpose. So 24,050 and 24,550. So this is for upside breakout and this is for downside breakout. At least one day candle should close below either 24,050 mark or 25,550 mark. So that's all about today's analysis. We'll meet our next analysis. Thank you. Thank you so much.